let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. So my initial reaction to this is this field looks, and Brandon from Bar Army and I agreed that this looks like classic PSP, with the exception of the Doritos. Like the Doritos is kind of a variation of it, but the snake side especially, and how the lanes are set up heads up, is just like classic PSP layout, which is going to be awesome. Like I wish I was playing Snake this event, because it just looks like so much fun to try and gun battle in. So I think the snake is really cool, really interesting. I think the center is what looks like so much fun, because there's a lot of moves that you can make. There's a lot of different sides that you could assist if you wanted. So like a lot of, actually, what's the pen? I gotta remember. On screen draw is P. Okay. So like, let's change. I always hated that like these are the colors that they've got. So like, you're pretty safe in this bunker, even up until they get to, I don't know, like your snake 2 slash center 50 snake. If again, that's if you're on this side looking cross, right? You're pretty safe, I would argue. So that's really interesting. But this looks like such a strong position to hold, and then like obviously moving from here to here is real easy, at least I'd imagine. But I actually think that you're gonna see a lot of heads up gunfighting right here to get into that position, because like if you're looking on the inside of the field from this bunker, you really don't have anybody on the D side that can kill you unless they get to the Dorito, what would you call that, Dorito 3. So that's interesting. Like I don't think that, we can look here in a second, but I'm pretty sure this Dorito, unless he's standing really tall and shoots like here, so unless the dude's standing tall and like gets some drop shots over, I don't know if he can hit you again. And if you're standing tall too. I actually don't know what the like erase tool is, if there is even one. Same kind of story goes for this side. I'll be curious to see which of these beams blocks out certain angles. Just looking at it, I actually think that from here you're blocked by that beam to not being able to see the inside of that Dorito 3. That's just what I see from here, but we'll see here in just a second as we get into like the POV. But you're able to stop the gap really well. Like that is a super solid position to stop the gap. So like kind of my initial thought is like, well, if you go from here shooting D side, leapfrog here, still holding D side, and go here and then lock that off, man, that's a strong position. Obviously you're not safe forever. So if, for example, they get up to snake 2, that's a clear shot, like on a pack, or I would say a loose playing pack, right? If you play tight in this, then you're fine. But what that means is that every time whoever on our team goes at the center goes to this bunker on the D side, you just have to play super tight and expect that there's going to be a snake 2, because it's probably going to be the case that if you make it into snake 1, you probably can get into snake 2 before they can react to it, unless somehow you're able to get to the snake with the guy being in the corner on their side, which would be amazing. Like that'd be super surprising. But let's look at a couple more things here before we go into like different perspectives, because I'm just super curious from this angle. So one thing that was like very obvious is these like straight lanes, these like constant heads up lanes on at least the snake side, right? I think the same is true for even up the center when you drop shot, because you can easily shoot over that center brick. So I mean, look at these straight lanes. Like even if you stand tall on the D side, you can shoot your mirror, I'm pretty sure. We'll find out. But if you stand up, you can shoot your mirror there, you can shoot your mirror here. You can't shoot your mirror in these Doritos, obviously. And I think I saw that this is not a true tape, because the tape, yeah, that's not a true tape, because the tape's kind of like right here. I know that's a ton of lines, but that's really interesting. So what's kind of cool about this is, and it's something that I mentioned in my How to Think Like a Pro video, is that this actually in a lot of ways makes the game very straightforward. There might be some instances in which there's some cheeky cross shots, which we'll get into in a second. I'll talk about that in just a second once I share this. But what's interesting about a field like this and like you'd call like the classical PSP style paintball field is that really your ability to break out wide. So like let's say we put a guy here, we run a guy here, and then we run a guy to the god, right? I would say very safe conservative layout. Or if people aren't making it, then they'll go here and then they'll double up here, which is probably going to be even more likely. But like if this is how you break out, your only way of getting into the god is for you to heads up gun battle this dude right here and hope that you put him in to make it. And that's it. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like it's not a cross shot that's going to stop you, though it could be. But by the time, if there's a cross shot that's going to stop this dude from moving to the god, that's going to be like this guy. And that's just like, if they're in the D3 before you even get to god, you're screwed. That's probably just a lost point. However, I wouldn't be surprised if, because there's a lot of beams here. Like all of this whole cluster of beams is gonna probably, and we'll look in a second, but that's probably gonna block a lot of shots from like the home. So like, and a lot of your shots might be blind because, right, you're shooting over. If you're shooting for the D3 gap, you could hit that shot pretty easily. But what if you try to hit the D2 gap? That's an over the top shot. You might be able to get some shots off back here, which might change the angle. So for example, if you shoot off the start gate and just blind, that's probably an easier shot to make as you slowly like move up to the can. But that's interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see what that looks like. Obviously, until we actually play the layout, those types of assumptions are going to be hard to make without actually playing it. But this is what I'm all trying to say is that like, it's pretty interesting because this is the layout that's going to reward people who are good at gunfighting. And I think that our organization has been complemented enough in our fundamentals and our fundamental skills enough that I think that we will do well on this layout. But it has to be that we prioritize aggression. Like we have to have speed to get in our bunkers, because that's the problem is like what I think this is going to come down to in terms of people making it alive to these bunkers or even making it into the snake afterwards is really just a matter of if you can not die off the break through some lane, right, which is going to be super hard. But if you can kind of find the route, right? So let's use the enemy. So like if it's a J cut, then so be it. Or if it's just like a straight run, so be it. It could even be, actually I'm seeing this now, it could actually even be that you run here. Oh, wrong tool. It could even be that you run here and then you dive like that, which would be an interesting route because then you have this bunker to blind you. And that actually might be the safer route in a lot of cases. You might actually see, instead of running it that dramatic, you might see that people go in front right here and dive in. I would actually suspect that that's what happens. I would like almost 80-90% guarantee that that's the route people take, because I just think that this shot right here, if you go around, that shot is a lot easier to make from this position because you're pumping your paint. You're pumping a lot of your paint right here. And like this is the area where you're going to be pumping your paint. But oh, I didn't mean to change the point. But if you run in front of it and then dive underneath it, I think you're safe. I think you're safe, but we'll see. Again, we'll see here in just a second. I'm looking at the snake side exclusively, and then let me just turn this music down a little bit. So that's pretty interesting. Lots of really creative things on the snake side. And the corner bunkers. This is what I'm most excited about, is the fact that the corner bunkers are literally god bunkers on this field. Like the snake corner bunkers have so much control over the entire field to be able to not only like if you get here lock off anybody from going from like the can to the corner or from the god to the snake it's like just so good. And then if you kill that guy, you actually might be blinded here from that Aztec. That's actually interesting. So you can hold zones, but you can't actually shoot at the can directly. It looks like, I could be wrong. And then wrapping further might also actually be the case. We'll find out. I think you can hit that. I'm pretty sure you can hit that. But this is going to be a fun bunker to play. And people are going to be going to the corners like it's 2007 and a PSP, which is awesome. So what this tells me then about this field on the snake side is that what this is really a matter of is mind, not necessarily, I don't want to say mind gaming, but like this is a matter of understanding what your opponents have done in the past and trying to it's like a game of football at this point, right? So if they've run, if it's I'm a football guy, but not much of a football guy, so I apologize, this might be cringe, but like if you're 3rd down and 15 yards to go, you're probably going to throw, right? You're probably going to go through for a throw. On the other hand, because everybody expects you to throw, you might have just like a really tricky run play, you know, out the side. Maybe you do like a power play or something like that. And so that, I think that's true for this, that like, I don't think it's going to work for people to just go to the snake off break or go to the god off break every single time. And maybe it'll be way different at our division, like in the pro division and semi-pro. It might be that people are just like consistently breaking out double up at this can just to try and survive and then work from there. But I really do think that because there's so many zones and gaps to shoot, like this dude has so many choices from the home to not only shoot on the snake side, but like to shoot for the corner, shoot for the god gap. He probably can dump up the center and try to shoot the guy going to the can. Obviously he has a bunch of shots over on the Dorito side. There's so many open lanes. So what the difference is whether is trying to hit the actual correct zone, right? Because you can't just like, you can't, especially as the number 3, you can't just like pump one zone and get lots of kills, right? Like I think in this layout, it's going to come down to the runners figuring out where the zones have been, where the lanes are, and then taking different routes to try and move those lanes and zones. So like if, for example, you're dying and going to the snake every time, or maybe rather not dying, but let's say you're getting into the snake every time like this, and then they start pulling up their lanes like from this position, they start pumping their zone, their lane closer right here, then maybe instead what you do is you run, oh, I gotta make sure I got my colors right. Then maybe the next point you run around like this, you take that wider route. Or then, you know, maybe if they start pumping their paint just all right here, then instead you go to the snake corner, right? Now that's pretty like standard of high level play, like that's not uncommon, but I think in a lot of NXL layouts, it's pretty obvious the bunkers that people are going to go to because they're just the best, and you have to go to those bunkers and risk a body anyway. Like that's just part of the nature of that particular layout. But I think in this one, it's actually going to come down to like metagaming and mind gaming your opponents a little bit more and determining how, if you survive getting into your bunkers. That's just my assumption, at least on the snake side. So let's look at the Dorito side really quick, and then we'll go actually in like a heads up view. So D side also looks interesting. If you shoot from the start box as the number 3, I think we already talked about it. You have some drop shots right here. Like that's definitely a shot you can take. You could pump the D2 to D3 zone. Probably. I don't know if that pin's blocking it or not, but you probably could pump it right here and be just fine. Not sure that that's a good idea, but you could. Pretty much the same zone out here. I think from this position, you probably could also just pump paint over here, but I think, I'm not sure. That's going to be like pod pack hits because I don't think you have any vision of that zone. Let me actually make this a little more clear. So you can pump paint here, you can pump paint here, you can pump paint here. But I think what's going to be hard about this back zone from this insert bunker into the Dorito 1 is that I think good teams are going to dive from this bunker underneath the paint. And I think they're going to be low enough that you won't be able to hit them unless you hit a pod pack. But that could be like, that might not be true. We'll see. Again, heads up, like as soon as you get to this bunker here, I think that people will be able to take the Dorito 1 off break much more easily than they will be able to take the God bunker. And I think that in fact, what it looks like is that the Dorito side is what's going to be important to pull guns in order for the snake to get into their bunkers. So what you might end up seeing in a pretty standard layout breakout is you might see a guy here, 2 guys here, and then 1 guy here and a dude who runs deep, like Dorito 1 or Dorito 2. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. Because again, you've got so many blinds right here. Oh, this is not the tool. You've got so many blinds right here. So that's pretty interesting. That, like I said, I think that there's a lot of creativity for the front players in how they use these bunkers to blind out. And I wouldn't even be surprised. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in some points where you're down like 2 points and you've only got 2 minutes left. I would not be surprised at all if what you saw is let's say the snake 2 guy, or maybe your snake 1 guy. He does kind of like a fish taco of sorts, and then dives here, and then as soon as he gets there, he locks off this center zone, like this entire area right here, and then the dude behind him either delays to shoot. So like, let's say you double up the home. So you've got 1 guy who shoots this way and 1 guy who then shoots this way. And I think as soon as that dude makes it, or at least dives past this guy then runs out to the corner and then tries to get into the snake, or he could run to the god. The problem with running to the god is that you are both, actually no, he can't run to the god. That's not gonna work. Because if he runs to the god and there's a dude on their side who's in the god right here, then all he has to do is shoot the same zone to stop both of you from getting wider than where you're at. So you have to take that run to the corner. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So again, the route is snake 1 guy runs in here. Like again, this is if you need a desperate point, dives in, immediately looks that direction. As soon as this dude sees that, he runs out to the corner and then just wraps all day. Because I would think that that's possible. It's also possible that given that play, the dude might have dove into the snake as you made that move. So super crazy, chaotic. I said I was going to talk about the D side. Here I am talking about the snake side. I'm so jazzed up about the snake. Like that looks like such a fun side of the field. All right. Again, heads up. I really do think you can take early ground. Like you can go to that Dorito 1 pretty easily. I don't think that it makes any sense to double up at the home for the sake of the D side. And I think, like I said earlier, I think this snake is going to cause problems, but it's also easily stopped if you can get to the corner. And so I think what becomes a lot more, not interesting, but just important, is your ability to leapfrog up this Dorito or take early ground on the Dorito. Like again, I think when we go to practice, I think when we go to practice, we should really practice trying to get to that Dorito 2 on the outside, or even taking this center route. Oh, that was not the route. Or taking kind of this blind, like getting up here and then diving in like that. The only thing that we'll have to be careful about, or that teams will have to be careful about generally, is that the difference between, this is actually really interesting, the difference between taking this outside route to here and taking the inside route into here, that's obviously not exactly how you take it, is actually the difference in how people are going to line up, right? So if you see, if for example, when you're lining up, you see the guy in the running position. So let me just illustrate this right here. So if you see their number 1 on the outside in a running position, he's going to take the outside route. But if you see their number 1, or like a dude in a running position who's like inset by 1, I'm not sure you can see it. We'll find out in a second. But if you see the outside guy not running, or the guy who you've seen as the number 2, that tells you that they're probably going to take this inside route and either go, you know, fish taco into the Dorito 3 or fish taco into the Dorito 2. They could even do it up until the 50. They could do that, actually. That would be a better route to take than it would be to do the Dorito 3. So yeah, I think if you're gonna fish taco, the safer, or if you're gonna run on the inside route, it makes a lot of sense. You could even just go straight here, and then your number 1 guy ends up being the dude who leapfrogs from this position, which is pretty interesting, because I think that seems pretty safe. This, it has the right tool selected, but it's just not doing it. This position seems super safe to get to. Like both of these positions seem really, really safe. And what that tells me is that I think that the center guy, oh man, we'll find out in a second, but either the center guy is the one who needs to pump a lot of paint up the center to start and then break out, which actually is probably the case. So I think what'll happen is the guy who plays the back center, the number 3, will pump just like 5 to 10 balls up the center and then shoot for the safe route, right? So like if you decide to shoot your paint up the center, you have to then shoot a zone after that makes sense, where you have enough time for your balls to travel to get there. And so you couldn't, for example, you couldn't really, I mean, you could, but you couldn't really pump here and then try to kill this dude. You'd have to pump up the center and then shoot for the guy going to either the corner or the god, and you could do that pretty easily. Same is probably true for the D side, right? You could pump up the center like in this zone pretty easily, actually. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at that now. That is a wide open shot, and so is this because of these wings right here. Okay, I'm just too curious. We gotta actually get in. All right, so let's see. C keys to stand up, F and G. Stand up and crouch. All right, this is supposedly a 5'5" perspective, which is not true. It's always way too tall. That's one thing I've noticed about guns up. All right, so let's actually watch this video, because I think this will just be the easiest to get kind of an idea of where to start. So this is a video taken at Paintball Fit on their Instagram page. Follow Paintball Fit. Follow Paintball Fit. These guys are awesome. Oh, I'm not following them. Oh my gosh. So yeah, look at that. Those zones, those people are like exposed completely. And these bricks, though they're not filled up all the way, are probably not going to be much taller. And man, that is an open center. That is a wide open center. Oh man, that is so interesting. Oh man. This just looks like so much fun, and I'm so glad that the first team that we play against on this field is Seattle Thunder. But this makes me kind of sad, because I feel like this is going to be the best layout I've ever played, and it only will get worse from here, honestly. Like, I really do think that, because this layout looks so much fun. Looks like so much fun is what I meant to say. Anyway, so let's start on the snake side then. Let's follow their perspective just so we can orient ourselves. All right. Pretty much a true tape. It actually is slightly off. Gotta remind myself how to zoom. Spacebar or scroll. Spacebar, there we go. So it's pretty much like, I would think so. You might actually step out slightly or step back and out. You just have to be careful about this dude right here if you're going to do that. But pretty much, I mean, you're going to see legs for sure. You're going to see legs, arms, stuff like that if people trying to bump up each knuckle. But that is interesting that it's not like a little bit wider, because a true tape would have been right here. If I was able to snap out and get this perspective, that'd have been a true tape. But we're several steps away from that. Definitely lob shots over the top of this. That's going to be huge. Like, to gun battle your mirror, I remember so many XPSL layouts back in the day where this is the Snape tape, where you just shoot over bunkers, like over the cakes and the little cakes and stuff. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, wrapping on the god is really strong right here. Shooting to the left of that and shooting to the right of it. So if you end up getting to this corner and they're still in the god, that's one, catastrophic for them. But if you end up killing this dude, man, this is the zone all day. This is the zone all day. And in fact, I think that if you lose, if you're on the receiving end of that punishment, where you, for example, like lose this dude and you've got a guy right here who's trying to help them get in, I actually think you just abandon ship and run up right here if you can. I think that's the play. How do I... Okay, wait. E and X. Oh, okay. So I think that's the play. If you're here and your dude dies in front of you, because all you really have is your heads up, you can't stop the... oh, that's interesting. You can't stop the god from getting into snake, and you can't stop the corner from getting into snake. So maybe this isn't even the bunker. Maybe all you do is you just say like peace, and then you run up here, and then you can hold that gap right there. Between the god and the snake one. That's a super easy gap. And then you can wrap, put pressure on this dude. You can also stop the snake corner if he tries to make the same run, and obviously you can stop this right here. This is super easy to stop. Okay, so snake corners strong as always. So many wraps. Like you can even, oh my gosh, you can even yeah, from this corner, that is insane. You can shoot this dude. I know you can't really see because this pen tool is blocking it, but wow. Right here, wrap, boom. That's crazy. That actually is so cool, because what that tells me then is, so if you come back down and you shoot on the inside for a second, maybe even over the top. So rather than inside, maybe if you wrap, let's say again, the widest guy is the god, or even your heads up, you could stand up over top and literally just shoot paint right at this this insert bunker into the Dorito. Super easy. What is so interesting is that everybody can get shot by everybody. Because like I'm looking at this now, and look at those Doritos. You can see the tops of those Doritos. If somebody was standing tall in those on the inside of the field, you could get blasted. What's the range like on your guns? You could easily shoot from, so you can shoot from this corner all the way to that corner, and you're probably at an angle where you're aiming right here. So like you're probably putting your barrel to point right here, and it'll drop down into about standing height or slightly crouching height. So if that gives you kind of an idea. Interesting. Okay, so the god, yeah, there's a lot of blinds. Let me, I don't like the buttons. Okay. So again, heads up from the god. Not really safe to wrap further. Oh, except you have to. Look at that. So if I were to, so look at this. This dude is a problem. This dude is a problem. So what that tells us then, who can stop the god? Who can stop this guy? Nobody. Can anybody stop the god right now? That's not up in the 50? This guy can. But I mean, if the god gets there before yours does, that guy's gone. Like, you're not going to stop him there. Is this dude? Probably not from the inside. And you can't wrap on the outside to shoot it. I think if you get to the god, you are clear. Because like, look at this. If I'm at the home, I can't shoot the god at all. I can shoot maybe right here. But man, I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't count on that. If I go up here, I can stop the god by just pumping paint on the outside of his zone, but I can't do anything else. And if I'm at the can, I don't have any zones right here. I don't have any paint to stop him. So that is interesting. What that tells you, what that tells me is that your guy, your home dude, and the dude at the snake 2 has to kill him from this position. Like your dude standing right here and your dude standing as like running out here this way has to put paint. Like this dude has to pump, probably not that harsh of an angle actually, it'd be closer to like back here. And then this dude, as he's running, shoots right here. That's your only hope at killing the god off the break. At least that's what it looks like. Let's see on the D side. So again, standing height according to guns up. If I run, I can put like, man, that would be hard. If I was starting right here, and this like break, that's like 2 balls. And then right here on the inside is possible. Okay, so that's possible. But I think the problem with you, shooting cross on a field like this, home blind over wing. Well, yeah, so you definitely can shoot these zones right here. And I think that's where you're really gonna kill people. It's just interesting that like, if they get past this point, if they make it past, they're gone. Because as soon as they survive that, they can run past the god. So I actually don't even think that you should stop here. And I'm not even sure that this is a great supporting bunker. Because if your guy is in the snake and you run here, what are you doing for your snake player that couldn't be done more effectively in the corner? Right? Because like, yeah, you're closer and you could stop them from getting into the snake, but you can here too, and even better. But like, yeah, man, as soon as if you survive to this bunker, you just keep running, man. I think that's what it is. That is interesting. I could be wrong, and we'll see how it plays out in practice for sure. But that's gonna reward the speed demons. This layout is for sure gonna reward the speed demons. Because man, like to kill the snake runner, like look at this. They're lining up. Their number one guy. I'll paint different colors. Their number one guy is standing right about here, or number two guy is standing right about there, and their number one guy is standing here in a runner's position. If you are able to, from the start box, get your gun up in time to shoot that purple dude, the number one on their side, man, that guy's slow, or you're cheating. I mean, again, it's not impossible. Like what you'll probably end up happening actually is you'll probably end up pumping paint. You'll probably end up pumping paint right here. Let's actually look at that from a different perspective. So if I were to imagine pumping paint, you could probably get him there. Okay. Man, I'm telling you though, I think if you make it past the can alive, you don't stop with the god. I think you just go to the snake. Because I think stopping at the god is a mistake. And the reason again is because you're the widest dude at that point, and it's a heads up battle, and nobody else can stop you when you get here. The only person who actually can stop you once you get to the god is whoever runs up from this position to that bunker right there. This one right here. And that's probably not that safe, given that this zone is really, really dangerous right here, up the center. I know I'm spending so much time on the snake side. I'm just having such a good time. Okay, so let's look at that route. So if I were to play the center, so I think running to this bunker is really safe. This bunker right in front, which tells me that if you are running to that bunker, you've got a lot of decisions to make. If you're the center guy running up to this tower right here, the center tower, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different zones to shoot at, depending on what you decide to do. So let's break that down. Also, what is this song? All right. So if, for example, you're gonna run up to the center bunker, and let's say you're gonna do it on the snake side, these are the zones you have to shoot. Rave 2021. So as you run up, you can shoot your mirror. You can pump the zone to the left of that to try and shoot the number 2 going to the can, or maybe shoot the snake runner. And then as you get closer, you then pump the outside zone right there. So that's 3 on that side. That's 3 zones on the snake side. The same is true for the Dorito side. So again, if you run up the center on the Dorito side, you'd shoot heads up on your mirror. You could shoot the zone that's to the right of that. Again, trying to shoot for the snake, really the Dorito too. And then as you got up a little further, then you could shoot this dude right here. You actually could probably pull back a little bit, which is interesting. So instead of actually running up to the Dorito right away, or right up to this, oh, never mind. The difference is minute. Yeah, you're probably safer. Man, but you know what's also cool? So like, let's imagine that you're running up on either side, shooting your mirror, and then you shoot for the wide dude, and then you just crouch. What does that look like? Then you crouch and you dive and you slide into this. Oh man. And then you are just stopping everything on either side. On the snake side, you could do it on the D side, but if this is actually what it looks like, and that guy slides, that's a really hard shot to take. That's a super hard shot to take. So what that tells me is that your best bet is to actually like float, maybe float over to this little nipple right here and then shoot for, man. Yeah, you could actually, yeah, you could just crouch right here and hold the D2. This center looks so fun. This center looks awesome. So again, if you hold this, that's a free zone. That's so easy. And then you can shoot that guy looking on the inside. If you crawl up to these somehow and look in the inside, oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, I mean, You're obviously on their side of the field. So that tells me that the center is probably the key position on this field. Challenging the center and maybe 1 or 2 bodies, at least 1, maybe 2 bodies is going to be really important. So like I wouldn't be surprised if if you put 2, I wonder what that would look like. I think if you're going to put 2 bodies on in the center, you're probably going to have 1 dude who gets here and holds this zone into the snake because it's pretty easy, and then the other dude just kind of free floats looking for kills, which would then mean that you have 1 person on the snake side who's essentially playing an island drill. Maybe he goes to the can, or maybe he tries to get to the god. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. So maybe the layout, maybe the breakout is this. So maybe what you do is you send the dude up here, and then you send your dude to the god, and the dude on the god just holds this zone, and this dude, well, except you're doubling up on the same job. Doing essentially the same job. What does this god have on cross shots? He's actually got some pretty interesting ones. So he could stop somebody who's trying to move up the center right here to go to this tower. He could kill somebody filling out wide from the can to that cake right here. He could shoot the inside of the cake. He could shoot the outside of the cake and put pressure. He could drop paint over here on this Dorito. He could shoot this zone right here. Wouldn't be the worst. But I think having 1 gun stopping the snake is probably not a good idea, because if they get into that snake, they're gone. As soon as they get to the snake 1, they're in your snake 1. If you're not wide. Because I don't think that this guy can... He actually could probably shoot the pack of the person going from that snake knuckle, the snake knuckle right here. Oops. The snake 1. He could probably shoot the guy's pack who's going from the snake 1 to the snake 2 pretty easily. And that's it though. That's all he's got. So I don't know. I just think the center seems to be super, super important. And I think these bunkers right here, these big bricks, and their ability to hold so much of either side is just probably too important not to. Because I think my inclination is to say that, like, let's go back here. My inclination is to say, all right, if we want to push the D side, then what we're going to do is put 1 dude here on the snake, and then 1 dude going either the god or the corner, and then just hold the line, while our other guys essentially do this all the way up the field. And again, if you decide to do that on the Dorito side, then you send 1 dude here, and then the next dude like right there, and then your snake side is what does the work, right? I know that I drew 5 lines, but you get the idea, right? But that just seems really obvious. So like if you end up calling, like let's say you know the bunker names, so you call this, I'm just making these up, I'm not going to reveal our bunker names, but if you say like brick 1, let's say this is brick 1 and this is brick 2, if you call out brick 2, you might be able to safely assume that they're not in brick 1 and that they're probably going to be pushing the snake side. Again, we're making so many assumptions right now. I realize this. I'm just thinking, you know, it's not very likely that they're going to be sending, I don't know, both people up those bricks. I've been talking about this for almost an hour. This field is just so interesting. So, all right, let's look at the D side, and then I think we'll call it. So if there's anybody in the chat who has like specific angles that they want me to look at, I absolutely will be happy to. So just let me know. Okay, again, heads up battle. That's really powerful though. Look at this. So boom. Boom. Those 2 zones. So that means when you're playing that number 2, your job is to shoot heads up and shoot that wide zone. Just constant. Just boom, 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 boom. Because that's actually as useful as you are stopping the widest dude. Because once they get to this Dorito, you can't see that guy unless he decides to go to the corner, which is what that is, or the Dorito 3, right? Isn't that the corner? Yeah. So like at that bunker, you can really only stop this and this once they make it to this Dorito 1. So you can stop, for those of you who just listened to the audio version, I should probably say, you can stop the Dorito corner and you can stop the Dorito 3. But if the guy is in the Dorito 1, you cannot stop him from moving from Dorito 1 to Dorito 2. Snake side, kill shots on the inside. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I just felt bad because I was looking at the snake side so long. The snake side looks so good. All right, heads up battle. Okay, this Dorito guy I think is actually pretty safe. Because like from the home, you just have, I'm just imagining if the home guy was to shoot on the Dorito side and what that would look like. So you really only have, again, the same shots that you pretty much do on the snake side where you're trying to hit that dude's pack, which is probably possible. I mean, very possible. So it might be that the number ones have a lot more to do. Shut up, Zach. How do you approach tagging the person on brick 1 when I'm on snake while eating my Dorito? Okay. So I think that your Dorito guys, your front guys, generally speaking, once they pass these thresholds, once they pass the brick thresholds, they're safe, man. They're in the clear. They're in the clear to get to either the snake or the Dorito too. So your home guy, what this says is that your home guy is not the dude to stop them as soon as they pass the brick. So the shots have to be dialed in. As soon as they pass that brick on either side, your home guy is not the dude to kill those people. Your runners are the ones who are gonna have to pump zones. You won't be able to get away. You won't be able to get away with like as the number 2 on the Dorito side running right here and like stopping and shooting. It's not gonna work because the home guy's just gonna blast you. But going, so yeah, man, dive into the Dorito 2. That's so easy. Dive into the Dorito 2 and then pull and then shoot heads up. Just pump paint right here. Or maybe even if you're running with your eyes down range, like if you're running with your heads up and you see a dude who's sprinting and diving, you might be able to see if he's going to the Dorito 2 or the Dorito 1, and then you can't really wrap though. Yeah, wow, those lanes are weird. Interesting. So look at this. There's no real strong wraps. So like imagine that you're this dude in this Dorito and you're looking heads up. You obviously have a very strong heads up lane to stop people from moving, but you actually don't have any wrap shots. Look at this. If I wrap, I hold a zone. I'm pumping this zone right here. And that's good. If you kill the widest dude, if you kill this guy and then you just sit here as this bunker and pump that zone, those guys are screwed on the D side. There's not like that is the play. Pump that zone. Let your guy behind you leapfrog, get to the corner, go from there. But that is super, super strong. So then, because again, if you're wrapping, like your only option is to shoot the dude who's stopping you at that brick, right? But otherwise, if you get here and you pump your lane for a while and you get somebody to pick up this zone, so you don't have to, so it's not your job anymore, then what you actually have is you have some really solid, oh, come on. You have some super solid lanes on the inside. Like, look at that. Kill the guy who's following up on the snake side. Easy. You're obviously going to get into some snap battles to somebody who's playing up the center right here. You also kill somebody who's trying to go from this brick up into the center. They're actually not going to make it easier to understand. They're going to run right here. They're going to run right there. So you could stop that really easily. That's a ton of vision. But in situations like this is what I recommend to number ones. Okay, it's really, really important for number ones. It's important for everybody else, but because you guys are going to be doing this primarily, this is really, really important. When you get a layout like this, what you need to do is you need to set up targets where you're essentially snapping people out who are posted up on you. That's what you need to practice. So as the number one in this Dorito position, I would set up a target right heads up on my Dorito. And so what I would do is for drill, I would dive into this Dorito, and then I would post up, not seeing the target, and then I'd snap out and try to shoot him and work that till you're super comfortable. And then I would do the same thing, maybe not dive again, but I would then get to this bunker and I'd set up on the inside and I would try to snap this spot right here. That's where this dude's going to shoot at you from. At least that's where the dude's going to shoot at you from to start, because it's safer for him to do that. But eventually, over the course of the tournament, this guy's going to start moving around and he might try to snap you from this position on the inside or the outside of that nipple. Again, another spot that you would want to snap is this dude right here. You want to set up a target where you snap this guy. All of those positions are safe for you to snap out at when you're in this Dorito looking on the inside. Like, nobody's going to be shooting at you on the opposite side of the field when you're looking inside like that. So that those are the snapshots you would want to practice on the D side as the number one. How many players are on the field at a time? 5 on 5. 5 on 5. So let's look at a couple more things, and then we'll look at the kill shots on the snake, and then we'll be done. We are at an hour. Holy crap, we managed to... I was thinking this is going to take 30 minutes. All right. No true tape. No true tape, but is this a bad bunker? It's not terrible so far. You can shoot that dude. The number 2 on the Dorito side. You also, if they get to this center 50 Dorito bunker, the 50 Dorito, and you're the number 2 on the Dorito side, I think this is not a bad position to get to, because you're the easiest. You're the only person that's really stopping this guy from destroying your D side. Because look at this. If there's a guy in this bunker right here, and there's nobody in this Dorito corner, then all 3 of these bunkers, look at this. All 3 of these bunkers are shot by the same lane. Here, here, and here. And what's crappy about that is that when there's somebody in this position shooting at you, this naturally scoots you this way. So you start to get pushed out. You start to get pushed out that direction. Again, depending on which bunker you're on, but in every bunker, in every case on the D side, with the exception of the Dorito corner, if there's a guy in that, I keep almost saying the bunker, if there's a guy in that 50 Dorito, your butt's getting shifted out that way, and then the snake side can chop you up super easy on your pack. So that means that, again, if you hear somebody, if you're in this bunker right here, and that you don't kill that dude in this zone right here, you need to fight for your life. If you miss this shot and that guy gets there, you gotta go. Or if either you miss that shot or this dude here misses that shot, assuming you have a guy in the Dorito too. I mean, again, that shouldn't happen, but it does. Then you gotta go. You gotta run to this corner and get here. Unfortunately, it looks like it's kind of useless outside of that. Because you can wrap on that. You can wrap on that dude, but if they got a guy in the 50 Dorito, there's probably not his teammate. His teammate's probably not here. He's probably moved up behind him. You've obviously got a wrap shot on this dude, but that's a gun battle, so not a strong zone. You do, from this position, stop the home bunker from bumping out if you kill a guy early. So if you do end up killing the number 2, and let's say you ran a guy to the Dorito corner, you killed the guy that was running behind him, you can easily shoot either directly at the guy, or you can pump the zone. Sorry, let me make this more clear. You can pump this zone, or you can pump this zone, depending on how aggressive you want to be. I'd probably just shoot at him, would be what I would do. Okay, so if we continue to wrap, I don't think you could get away with this, but you've got something there. And then the inside shots are garbage. Interesting. So this is a really specific, this is a situational bunker, right? That Dorito corner is super situational. Like, I'm not sure if it's, oh, but you know what you could do? Yeah, do you know what you could do? Oh, unless the number 3 is shooting at you. But if you know, so like, let's say for example, we know that their home guy's been shooting the snake lane all day, then what I would do is I would send your snake 1 or your Dorito 1 guy to the corner and literally just run around it and dive here. Heck, you could even dive into the 50 easy. Easy. That's the run. That's the run. Terry, Al, if you're listening, that's the run. Okay? So if you know this, if you know the home guy's been shooting the snake, or when he's running up the center, he's shooting snake way, or if somehow you can find out as he's lining up where he's going to be looking, your Dorito 1 guy has such a free run to get to this corner and then get right here and blind out. Because like nobody can see him right here. As he passes this certain line, nobody can see him. And then you just dive, under that home stream, and then you're safe. And you can either wrap on the home and shoot him, or in fact you could blind, dive and get here, and then boom, immediate pressure. So much pressure right here after that. That's interesting. Okay, I think that's it. I mean, if you get to the Dorito 3, you're killing people. You're killing people's packs. There's nothing to be said about that. I'm mostly interested in the bunkers that are behind that. I guess we didn't really look at the Dorito 1. Mostly because get to the Dorito 2 forehead. I mean, you've got an up the center stop. You stop this. This dude decides to go up the center on the snake side. Even if he decides to go on the Dorito side, you stop that easy. You stop the guy from the brick going up, or you can challenge him heads up. There's so many heads up challenges. This is insane. That's as wide as I would go, by the way. I wouldn't wrap. If I was playing in this position, I would not wrap to shoot this dude right here. I wouldn't do that because that's super wide. That's just super unsafe. But when you're here, the only bunker that you have is this. Wow, what the? Really? Okay, so a challenge. Man, the insert bunkers are not good. The God bunker and the Dorito one are not good bunkers. They're not good because all they are is bunkers that trap you, or they're situational bunkers that you want to hold a zone. So like, again, if you're like, hey, we're gonna push the snake side super hard, we're gonna send one up the center, one to the snake corner, and then one to the can, and you're just trying to put as many bodies on the snake side, then I think it makes a ton of sense for you to send your Dorito dude to just sit here and this Dorito one and then pump this zone. But if you're trying to take ground on the Dorito side, you do not send him to that Dorito one. I don't think that's good at all. And because if you make it to this Dorito, assuming there's not a dude running up the center, then you make it to the Dorito 2 easy. So that's where so I think, so what I've just decided is that the entire weekend is on my shoulders. I play the center. This is all on me. Just kidding. But I think that the center is going to be massive in this layout. I think the center is the guy who makes everything happen in terms of which side you push, which side you try to like stop and pull up, and which means that there's going to be a ton of people shooting at me if they're doing it right. And if they're not, then that's my job to move. So it's good to know. All right, let's look at the snake and then we're done. Okay, you get to the snake one. Sorry, every time I move, it just like shifts the camera. So you get to the snake one, you could shoot that. That's not gonna do anything for you. You're actually safe from the guy who's in the brick right there, and you will be shot at by the number 3. If you're in this, if you slide into the snake one and you don't go into the inside your legs and your pod pack, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble right here. Because that number 3 is going to pressure you a lot. This bunker, obvious, gonna hit you. And if there's a dude here, if there's a dude in this bunker, then you can't make it past this because he's going to shoot your pack. So if you go right here, you're dead. Dead. Yeah, that guy stops all of that. If they're not there, that can shoots you. Is that a can? What is that? Yeah, that's okay. That's the can. So if you're here, the can stops you. Well, it doesn't stop you, but he puts pressure on you. And does he put pressure on you if you're trying to climb up? He does. Okay, interesting. So that can is key to stopping you from moving to the snake one, from the snake one to the snake 2. So that changes what I said originally. That is, in fact, a really good bunker to stop people from making this move because he'll shoot a pod pack all day. That's no doubt. Let's see what that looks like from here. Yeah, wow. I mean, it's hard to see, but there it is. It's right there. So maybe that's a lot better than I thought. So yeah, keep your eyes down range. Shoot. If you're gonna shoot heads up, shoot right here. Shoot for the snake guy. In fact, you would actually just shoot. If you're gonna shoot the snake dude, you'd shoot right here. Just pump paint up and down right here. Try to see if he's running close or running far. And then if you get here, as soon as you get here, I would probably pump paint right here. Pump paint, that's the first thing you'll do. And then as soon as you've pumped maybe 30, 40 balls worth, maybe even 60, then shoot, put pressure at heads up. Because what if you were to, that's the play. That's the play, guys. We found it. We found the secret. All right. Shoot heads up. Number 2, shoot heads up. Get to this bunker, pump the snake zone, go on the inside. This is in the first 5 seconds of the point. First 10 seconds of the point, okay? Get here, pump that zone, look up the center, shoot your mirror, shoot for him wherever you think he's gonna be, either on the outside or the inside, and then you run up. And then you run up here and you dive. And then you hold it from here. That's the play. We found it, boys. We found it. Bring her home. That's the play. I don't think that there's actually a better play unless you're wanting to get the... well, that's not true. If you wanted to control the corner, then that's a different thing. I just don't know if anybody's gonna make it to this corner, man. I think this corner is I think you go to the corner as a way to react. Well, no, I can't say that. This snake corner is really strong because you can wrap on the god, and you have some other zones to shoot. But I just think that like the snake corner is going to be super hard to get to, and I feel like it's a better bunker to get to stop them from moving up the snake than it is for you to put pressure on the snake. I think there's better bunkers for that. So again, that's a really strong, man, whoever's the number 2 on the snake side on our team, if you're watching this, take note of that. Okay, Dorito. Oh, we still got a couple more snake shots to take out. So I'm gonna just look at the snake 2. Yeah, I'll look at both. Never mind. Okay, so from here, obvious. Oh man, this guy. That Dorito corner's dead. Dorito corner's dead. You're shooting that guy's head every time. Every time. So shoot for the Dorito, shoot for the guy who's playing at the center. You'll put pressure on the dude if he's playing loose, which you probably won't kill this guy, but if the guy in the brick on the D side is playing loose, you'll kill him on his head, shoulder, maybe. It's pretty hard, but you'll definitely kill a dude who's like right here, but this is also like, he will challenge you. Even better, you'll kill a guy who's on the center of this brick, standing up, looking the Dorito side. You'll kill that dude. So the Dorito side, Dorito corner, this dude, you can pump this zone. And in tournaments, man, if you get to the snake 2 and there's nobody on the snake, you go. But if you end up getting stopped, nothing wrong with you just pumping paint right here all day. Is that, look how much that stops. Look at that. That stops this play. That stops this play. That stops this play. That stops a lot. That stops this play. This play. That one zone, that one snake 2 zone stops all this right here. It's hard to get. It's hard to get to because that can stop you. This can right here can stop you. So it won't be for free. Okay. 50 snake. And if you get to 50 snake, you're probably chopping up everybody. All right, you can shoot this guy's pack, maybe. This guy's dead. This guy died one bunker ago, but that guy's dead. The Dorito corner for those who are listening. And then this is, I mean, I don't think, the thing is when you're not going to get to the snake 50 with there being a guy in this bunker. This guy has to die or he has to look away for you to be able to do that. So I don't think you kill him. You could kill the tower though. Probably shoot his pack pretty easily if he's looking on the D side. But I wouldn't really consider this a kill because that dude knows you're here. And I mean, well, if he's good, he will know you're here. And so you certainly can challenge him, but yeah, I think your best bet is to just keep going. So here's what I would say. I'm not sure that pulling up into the snake 50 is good unless you get stopped. So I think what you do is I think you go into the snake 1 and what you check for is the can shooting at you. So when you get to the snake 1, look for the can. Don't look for it on the outside. Don't look for it on the inside because the 3 will shoot you. You got 2 people right now from this perspective shooting at you. You've got the can and this guy. So instead, as soon as you get to the snake, you gotta just chill for a second. And then when you feel the paint drops, come out and pump paint right here just for a second. And then, oh, hello. And then move up to the snake 2. Once you get to the snake 2, look cross, shoot for the guy in the Dorito corner and just sit here and pump paint. Just shoot paint for a minute. I mean, I think that your only way to go down the snake tape, like we see in the old PSP games, is if they've lost a body already, or the guy in the can is like not there. Because, well, I guess if you get the snake 2, you could do it. You could just go. Yeah, that's the thing that I don't have enough experience in the snake to really tell you what to do in this situation, because I know that some people will say, well, if they don't have a guy in the corner and you're in the snake 2, you should just go all the way, which is probably true. But you also might get some free kills if you pull up for a second and shoot from the snake 2. So I don't know the answer to that, but just some things to consider. I just think even if you pull up for half a second, like if you're still in the crawling position, but you do that, you know, that thing that I show you in my TikTok, You go up, shoot the Dorito corner, and then just go back down and go to crawling. I think you're fine. I don't think you stop at this snake 50 bunker unless you have to, because I think the only person that you kill, unless you back, ooh, actually, if you back up, there it is. We found it. Okay, there it is. It's right here. That guy. You will kill that person, and you will kill this tower very likely. If you scoot up even further, you can't see anybody else. You can't see. Well, like we said, you can maybe see this Dorito guy, but I think you just go. I think you go to their snake too, and then free kills. That's my thought. Oh my gosh, yeah, free 99 right here. So don't stop at the 50. Go to their snake. Go to their snake too. Maybe in the center. Is there anything in the center of this? Okay, you can kill the home guy for sure. That home guy is dead if you get to the snake 50. So, okay, this is what I mean to say. When you go to the snake, do this. Okay? Here's step 1. I wish I could actually type. Step 1. That's not it. That ain't it, Chief. 1. When you run to the snake, shoot for the can on the outside. Wrong side. Shoot for the can. Once you get to the can, step 2. Go to snake 2. And shoot the Dorito. Shoot this zone right here. Shoot this zone. Okay. Once you shoot that zone, go 1, 2. Get to here. Get to the actual center 50 snake and shoot. Shoot that guy. Shoot the home. That's number 3. And number 4 is profit. Oh, what's that? That's not profit. Number 4 is money. Win tournaments. That's how you play the snake. Easy. Why is it so hard? Why do you people not win? It's easy. All you snake players. What's your problem? All right. That's it, man. Stonks. Exactly. Oh, man. Okay. That's it. Hey, if you guys are watching the YouTube video, please like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. It helps people get this awesome, useful, insightful content. So please share it around. And thanks for watching. Peace.